Deputy President Rigathi Gachagua has told judges and magistrates to be patriotic and accountable in discharging their duties. The DP was speaking in Tenderet Barangetuny Mountain Run National Championship in Nandi County said the suspension of government projects by the judiciary was an attempt by opponents to sabotage key government programs through the courts.
And they should not live in utopia. Wakitoa hizi judgment, pia walete koti huko kwa raia, waulize maoni ya raia. Waulize raia, hii mnataka NHIF ipunguzwe from 500 to 300 ama hamtaki. Lakini wanakaa pale kwa kompyuta na kuandika judgment.
Gachagua said the courts ought to be accountable for their decisions, adding that other arms of government were under scrutiny by respective institutions for their actions.
Hawa judges nani na oversight hawa? Tukiuliza swali tunaambiwa tusiulize. Iko independence of the judiciary. But somebody must also hold them to account. And they also must be accountable. And they must also accept to be held to account.
The DP saying programs meant to benefit wananchi, including the revamping of National Health Insurance Fund to cater for their medical needs and affordable housing project, were being frustrated in the courts.
Mambo ya healthcare program. Rais anataka tupunguze malipo kutoka 500 mpaka 300. Mbona wanasimamisha?
He said that Kenya Kwanza government is on a mission to ensure all farmers reap from their hard work.
We've been able to work very hard to ensure that our people who are in these various sectors will get what they are sweating for in their farms.
The DP was flanked by a host of leaders, including the head of public service, Felix Kosgei, Nandi Governor Stephen Sang, and Tinderet Member of Parliament, Julius Meli, who is the patron of the Mountain Run Athletics Kenya. Parsai Frederick, Sunday Express.
Sunday Express. Now, over 1,000 students have benefited from the Wings to Fly program. The program is a 4-year, fully sponsored initiative that benefits bright but needy children. During the commissioning of this year's program, the beneficiaries were urged to take full advantage of opportunities being given to them so that they can better their lives. Speaking during the event, Equity Group CEO James Mwangi also urges scholars not to focus on the obstacles of their past, but opportunities the future presents.
Messages of hope, inspiration and mentorship dominated the commissioning of Wings to Fly Scholars Commissioning as the program's alumni narrated their journeys to success.
I have been admitted into Harvard University, where I plan to do computational neuroscience.
It is not by chance that he's going where he did. He has a track record of achievement. And now,
I was also position 2 in the whole country.
Position 2 in the entire country. And 4 years ago, he was seated where you are seated.
Then I was called to join the Equity Leaders Program, then also Equity College Counseling Program, and I got admitted to the best university in the world, Princeton University.
From doctors, engineers, managers as well as founders, alumni inspired the scholars from disadvantaged backgrounds who noted that the right attitude, gratitude and commitment was a necessity for them to excel.
I've specialized in surgery of the bony structures and the soft tissues of the face and the mouth.
And I got an A of 83.
Rumo A of 83.
Yeah,
and what are you doing now?
So I lead the Pan-African tech companies.
Equity Group CEO Dr. James Mwangi called on the scholars to focus on learning and not the challenges back at home to achieve their dreams.
Things don't happen. They are made to happen. And you can see he has made it happen. And you don't do it by applying to Preston and getting admitted. It's a story of consistency in success.
He also urged the scholars to use the opportunity granted to them to fly in life and adopt values necessary to prosper in life.
It will be unfortunate 4 years later to come back and realize you never used the wings to transform yourself. you will have lost that golden opportunity of becoming who you could ever be.
Nairobi Governor and the Ministry of Education officials who graced the event pledged to support the scholars, even as they urged them to give their best to inspire those behind them.
I am personally also committed to ensuring the next generation, especially those from disadvantaged backgrounds, get a chance in life, get an opportunity to reach their full potential. That the equalization of opportunities becomes the prerogative of all of us.
And as we have appealed in the past for our teachers, we do request that these scholars, as they settle down, even if they miss something for a day or two, please understand them. Let us not keep them away from school.
During the session, the scholars were handed over their admission letters to various high schools. Over 56,000 students applied for the scholarship, with only 1,000 getting the opportunity. 22,000 have benefited from the program since its inception 15 years ago. For Sunday Express, I'm Gladys Mungai.
In Chepungus village in Parker Hills, Tiaty Sub-County, 23-year-old Emily Torotok invites us to her home. The mother of four was forced to drop out of school at class 7 due to the long and unsafe distance between her school and home.
Siku hiyo tulikuwa na wanyama wakali sana. Sasa wakati mwingine hata ukienda asubuhi saa yenye bado haujaona mtu, unakutana na wanyama wenye wanakula watu. Sasa nikaamua kukuja kukaa nyumbani. Nikakaa kidogo nikaoleka.
For years, women and girls were forced to take long and treacherous walks in search of water during the dry period.
Maji tulikuwa tunaenda Nginyang, Tangulbei. Nilikuwa naamka saa 12. Ninarudi saa 12 ya jioni. Tunakuta watoto wameumia na kwa sababu ya kiu, njaa.
But with the arrival of water at their doorsteps, things have become a lot easier for the community here. The Geothermal Development Company set up 20 community water distillation points along the 160-kilometer stretch where drilling and exploration is underway.
Samani alikuwa ni area desert sana. Kwa ajili ya maji tulikuwa tunaenda mbali sana. Mahali tunaweza kwenda hata masaa 7 ipike mali pa maji.
Hakuna kuhama tena. Watu wameseto hapo tu na wameanza mabiashara zao.
The power exploration also brought job opportunities for residents here.
Wanaume wetu walikuwa wanahama. Wengine walikuwa naenda hata kuchokosa jirani. Lakini leo wakati yenye maji imekaribia, sisi tuko wote nyumbani, na wakati yenye maji haikukua walikuwa wanaenda karibu mwezi moja. Saa nyingine hata wanakuta watoto wamekufa na njaa juu ni hao ndio wanatafuta chakula.
We are taking this water a distance of 70 kilometers, that is in Sirari. These communities used to quarries during droughts, and all of them come to Rekbaringo for water. We have seen the community settle, and there is an improvement in their way of life. Schools are coming up.
So over 5,000 households have benefited on this project. GDC is also intending to extend this project because the women have issues with nutrition. So we are intending to get partners to assist us to start garden farming and also to change their lifestyle from nomadic to agriculture.
Emily is one such woman who has harnessed the wastewater into her small garden. Who knew that perishable crops such as vegetables could flourish in this scorching sun of Tiaty? But this is the new reality for residents here who are now embracing smart farming methods to ensure that they produce food for their daily consumption.
Nikapanda mboga. nikauza mboga, nikaona mboga iko na biashara, nikaongeza tena shamba, nikaweka mahindi, nikapata gunia 5, nikatumia kwa nyumbani 2, 3 nikauza.
She sells some of the produce from her farm in her shop. The 2.8 billion shilling project funded by the German Development Bank, targeting 50,000 people, has seen livestock get raw water, with residents receiving clean drinking water.
For the water to be suitable for community use, we have a treatment plant. That's the sand filtration again, so that if there is any contamination from here to the tanks, is removed. Then we have a carbon filter that removes any metallic taste and the taste of the water. Then we have the fluoride filtration system, which is through a reverse osmosis. From there, the water is passed through UV lights that will kill any germs.
The residents too have enjoyed free healthcare services for 5 years now.
Mtu anaweza konjeka ile ambaye yenye wanaweza enda hata kuweka msituni, wangoje hata akufe kwa hapo. Juu hatukukuwa na hospitali, hospitali ilikuwa mbali na uwezi beba mtu mzima mpaka huko. Kama sisi wa mama ama ajifungue mtoto mwenye ni mgonjwa anafaa kutibiwa kwa hapo, huyo mtoto anaweza aga kwa hapo. Juu hakuna vile watasaidiwa.
Normal childhood illnesses approximately has been taking about 10% of deaths around here. It has reduced drastically.
With a standby ambulance and 8 clinical workers, mothers are now embracing antenatal care unlike before.
When we first came here, there was no facility around. We were either referring them to Tangle Bay, which is about 24 kilometers, or Nginyang, about 7 kilometers away, or the other option was to take them to Chemolingot. We are talking of 70 kilometers from here. So this necessitated us to improve on our.
Now, Vanessa Ongema, a medical student captured on video causing chaos at Port Victoria Hospital in Busia County, has been arrested. The 22-year-old presented herself to the Busia Town Police Station, accompanied by her lawyer, Leonard Okanda. She filed a statement at the DCI Investigation Office in Busia, where she's being held. Busia County Police Commander Joe Lekute said she will be arraigned in court on Monday to face various charges, including public disturbance. Vanessa caused public outcry after a video where she was heckling a health worker surfaced online. Health workers at the hospital have since halted service provision, protesting the unruly behavior.
She's been arrested and she's been processed, taken to court, being charged with the offense of creating disturbance and damaging property.
The events of 1st of January are deeply regretted. All we are asking is that in view of the fact that operations the facility in Victoria have come to a stall since this event, we want to humbly plead to medical workers at that particular facility and elsewhere in the country to resume operations. Vanessa herself is a medic who respects the medical profession. She respects nurses deeply, and we do not wish that whatever happened on 1st of January be the reason why people in Victoria and the neighboring areas have to suffer.
To meet our unique peculiar situation here.
Right, and before we take a break, and we'll be looking at the scorecard in your ministry, Waziri, I want to talk about the assembling of smartphones, the local assembling of smartphones. And this is a question that's coming in from our viewers. There are already cheaper smartphones in the country. These phones are expensive. They're retailing at 7,499 shillings from what I understand. So in terms of the thinking behind the local assembling of these smartphones, what was the thinking behind that?
The rationale is the fact that we want to facilitate universal access
to internet connectivity and consumption of government services. We have migrated virtually all government services to the digital platform. When we came into government, we only had 350 services on the eCitizen platform. Today, we have gone ahead and digitalized a whopping 12,642 services against a target of 5,000, which is no mean achievement. But the question we are asking ourselves is, if all government services will be available virtually on the eCitizen platform, do all Kenyans, or does a critical mass of Kenyans have access to smartphones? The answer is no. So proactively, as government, we have come out to fill that gap, to fill that void in the market. And we have partnered with the telecommunication companies, specifically Safaricom, JTL, and other private investors, to embark on local assembly of smart-enabled telephones. The rationale of local assembly as opposed to importation is that there are various attendant costs that will be eliminated. Import duties, there are logistical costs involving importation and several other costs that will be eliminated. The net result is that we are actually going to end up with a cheaper phone, a cheaper smartphone. And mark you, we have got other smartphones in the market that may not be, that are actually counterfeit. Yeah? So we have ensured that we are filling in that void. And as we speak today, that assembly, the plant, is already churning out on average 4,500 units of those devices on a daily basis. But what is the uptake of these smartphones? 4,500 daily, but what is the uptake in comparison to the other dominant phones in the market, the other dominant The Neon brand is fairly attractive in the market. You'd say that the consumption rate or the uptake rate is about 80% so far. Yeah. There's Neon and Neon Smarter and Neon Ultra. Yes. What about the Neon Ultra? The Neon Ultra is the same. It's just a slightly upgraded version. It's an upgraded version. Yeah. And I'm curious about the names of these phones, the branding behind them. These are locally assembled phones. Does this mean then that there was a partnership? A brand is a brand, no? No, because it's a locally assembled phone. That's what I'm asking. So you would imagine that because it's locally assembled, that we would get some ownership in terms of the branding, the titling of the phone. So we're seeing Neon Smarter and Neon Ultra. That's just me being curious. That we leave to the plant, the people of the plant to decide. It's a question of how you want to do your branding. Yeah. Okay. Just checking whether it was a from a policy perspective, invention. We don't go ahead and get involved in operational issues. We focus on policy, regulations, laws, and regulations. Yeah. Okay. We're taking a short break, Waziri, and when we come back, we'll be looking at your scorecard 1 year into office. Sex predator and criminal who is in police custody in connection with the murder of 26-year-old starlet Wahu Mwangi on Wednesday last week. The plot is getting complex with more victims of John Ongoa Matara emerging to record statements with detectives 4 days after his arrest, claiming that they were assaulted, tortured and sexually violated by the suspect, who later stole their cash and left them with life-threatening injuries. The victims, some of who reported their cases 7 months ago, blame the police for slow investigation, saying the suspect could have been apprehended before causing more harm and death.
Sunday afternoon at Makadara Sub-County Police Headquarters, this lady walks out after recording her statement with detectives investigating the murder of 26-year-old socialite starlet Wahu Mwangi. She is the second victim to record a statement with police a day after another victim told police of her near-death experience with a 30-year-old John Matara, who was arrested when he took himself to Mbagathi Hospital for treatment for a stab wound.
Huyo kijana tulipatana dating site.
Just like the first victim, she tells us she met her abuser on an online dating site last year in May, and after a week, Matara insisted he wanted to meet her.
Alikuwa anaongea English ya mapua kama mzungu, pia black American. Aka insist anitumie Uber ati niende kwake, nikamwambia hapana, sisi tuko strangers, tumejuana tu kwa mtandao na ifai to meet usiku. Akaona nimeresist kabisa kwenda kwake, aka insist, akaniambia, and do you stay alone?
After confirming she was home alone, he dashed to her house, where upon arrival inquired about the nearest place he could buy bang before winding the night away. He appeared unsettled and ordered her to keep her phone away.
Kaniambia, put your phone silent. Juu nimekuja tujuane. Sitaki watu wakupigie simu wa interrupt nini yetu. You have to give me attention.
Hell broke loose at around 8:30 p.m. when Matara allegedly pushed her down and strangled her without any reason.
Ushai ona kuku ikichinjwa. Hata si kuchinjwa, ushai shika hivi shingo kuku. That's how alininyonga. Akanipiga kwa jicho mara moja, pap, akanipiga mara pap. Mara 3 times akanipiga.
For close to 6 hours, Matara tortured her. First, he undressed her, chained her on the bed, violated her sexually. As if that was not enough, he rained blows on her, demanding for cash.
Na visu alikuwa ametoa 3 kwa hiyo jacket ameka hapo. Nimelala hivi, visu anazishika na niambia, unaona hizi visu, wewe kukuwa ni second, usifikirie utakaa hapo.
To save herself, she offered to give out her lock savings account. The suspect transferred more than 18,000 shillings from her phone. He also stole her identity card, passport, and other crucial documents.
Alijitumia kwa simu yake hizo pesa, akapungua kunipiga. Sasa hiyo kunipiga ikawa imepungua, lakini nilikuwa nasikia uchungu. Wakati wa kuondoka akaanza kuniita jina babe. Ndio maybe watu wenye wako nje maybe huenda wamesikia nikilia, maybe wakisikia hiyo the word naitwa babe, waende waseme hawa hata ni hakuna kupiga mduru, tunasikia hapa ni watu wanaongea jina babe.
He managed to escape at around 2:30 a.m., 30 minutes before she was rescued by her neighbors, who took her to Kahawa Sukari police station to report the incident and later to a hospital where she received treatment. Despite reporting, she says police did little to track down the suspect, who, as it seems, continued to lure more victims.
Nilikuja nikachoka. Sikuona haki. Nilichoka kwa sababu nilikuwa nafuatilia. Mwanzo walikuwa wananipea moyo, wananitia moyo, wakasema huyo hata hii kesi kikaa 1 year huyo lazima atashikwa.
She's however grateful that after 7 months in search of justice, Matara is finally in the hands of authorities and hopes that justice will be served. 4 more victims are expected to record statements to the police on Monday. The suspect, who is expected to be arraigned at the Makadara Law Courts on Monday, was arrested together with his friend Anthony Nyongesa, who was helping him at the hospital.
AFC Leopards started the year on the right foot as they registered their 3rd win of the season when they beat Ulinzi Stars 1-0 in the Football Kenya Federation Premier League at Nyayo Stadium. Musa Oundo scored the game's only goal when he headed in the ball from a Clefton Miheso corner in the 12th minute of the game. Ingwe held on to secure maximum points and lift themselves farther away from the relegation zone to move to 12th place in the standings. In the other games, Tusker registered the biggest win of round 17 as they demolished KCB 5-0 to leapfrog them in the standings. Sofapaka got 3 points and 3 goals against Bidco United as Kariobangi Sharks drew 1-1 with Murangasio.
Start our year, but I think there's lots of positives that we can pick from this particular match. It wasn't the result that we wanted, but I think it was the sort of performance that we expect from the boys from this point going henceforth, because we understand the position that we are in at on the table right now is not a position that gives us any room for complacency. So ours is to go back to training, try and rectify the few mistakes that we've seen today, and hopefully get maximum results in our next match.
As it was the perfect end of the first leg, so we wanted to finish the first leg strong and to push up in the log. So I think we are 13 or 12 now. So at least to push a bit up. And also, like you said, we start the second year. I mean the 2024 in the good mood.
Now, to other stories making headlines, Meru Governor Kawira Mwangaza has refuted claims that her son is among the suspects arrested in connection with the murder of Meru blogger Daniel Mudhiani, alias Sniper. The governor clarified that her son, Timothy Kinoti, has not been arrested and only shares his name with one of the suspects in custody linked to the murder. The governor spoke at a church service in Meru County today, as our reporter Husna Mohammed explains.
While attending a church service in Meru, Governor Kawira refuted claims that her son is among the suspects arrested in connection with the ongoing murder investigation.
Kwa wale ambao wanaripoti vitu ambavyo hawajui, napenda kusema familia yangu, kuna watu wamezungusha mtoto wangu ameshikwa, porojo tupu, na aibu kwenu.
Parading him in front of the audience to prove that he's not in custody, the governor termed the allegations baseless, saying that it is mere political maneuvering by her opponents.
Wamekuja na njia nyingine. Wamejaribu impeachment, wameshindwa. Wamejaribu cases, wameshindwa. Wamejaribu kututoa uhai, wameshindwa. Wamejaribu kutuharibia majina, wameshindwa. Wamekuja na ingine ya juzi.
The rumors of the arrested circulated especially after a team of detectives from the Directorate of Criminal Investigations, comprising forensic scientists, investigating the murder of Meru blogger Daniel Mudhiani alias Sniper, raided the governor's residence yesterday morning, hoping to find clues or any linkage to the murder. Kawira has promised to cooperate with the investigating officers if needed.
Na kama kuna mtu wa familia yangu atahitajika, mimi kama governor nitampeleka pahali anahitajika. Jibu maswali yote.
Police has meanwhile arrested yet another suspect who has been linked with the murder. Brian Mwenda, boda boda operator, was arrested at his home in Gachanka in North Imenti. On Friday, the police submitted an application to court seeking to detain all suspects for an additional 21 days to conclude the investigation. The detectives believe that more suspects are still at large.